Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris. I'm back again, like I promised, with the Hot Toys Jyn Erso from Rogue One. I was initially wanted this figure from the very beginning, 100%, when I saw the prototype. And when Hot Toys released the production blogger photos, I was almost kind of disappointed. I wasn't sure if I was digging the head sculpt. So I can definitely say in hand, it looks a hell of a lot better than what I've been seeing in some photos and in some lighting circumstances, and even in some videos. So it's definitely good. Is it 100%? You know, of course not. I still have a little bit of an issue with it. You know, it's about, for me, probably 85% of the way there. If I had to rate it, you know, I don't know. I'd give it like an 8, I guess, probably an 8 out of 10. Other people probably would give it a bang on 10, you know, or a 9.5 or something like that. But for me, just in my opinion, it's a very good likeness. The prototype, I think, maybe a little better. But either way, it comes with a lot of accessories. This is almost like a DX figure. You get a lot of stuff with it. You get another outfit, or not a totally new outfit, but you get some interesting stuff to be able to switch her in and out of. You know, as far as the hat and the different stuff like that. So we'll get to it. Don't worry, I'll show you most of it. We'll do some different poses and show you different looks, and we'll go from there. So let's begin with the head sculpt first. All right, so there's the head sculpt. Again, it looks a lot better to me in hand than it did in probably about 80% of the Hot Toys production photos. And honestly, most of the videos, Budget Stark had a pretty good video of an unboxing, and it looked the best there. In hand, it definitely does look better than it does in any of the videos, though. So I'm happy about that. But again, for me, there's still just a little something off about it. You know, again, for me, it's about 85% of the way there. And if you have to have a rating scale, and you know, an 8. Probably, maybe 8.5. It's very good, and these are probably, between this and the Imperial Disguise version, we are probably the only 2 incarnations we're going to get a Jyn Erso. So, and for a deluxe version, you get a lot of stuff. So, you know, there's definitely some good pros about it, and we'll see. I believe the head sculpt's going to be the same on the Imperial Disguise version. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I highly doubt it's going to be different. There's some folks who like the prototype of this. There's some people that think this head sculpt is an improvement. You know, I don't know. I guess I'm in the middle. You know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, I don't know. But I still stand by my initial thoughts a little bit, that there's just a little something that's off about it. But in general, you know, are you going to be happy with it? Most likely. There was one thing I wanted to mention, which now, of course, I can't remember. I don't know. Hopefully it'll come back to me. But as usual, you know, hit that 4K option if you have it in your YouTube browser, or on the options on the video. Hopefully it's coming through as good as, you know, visually to the eye, or to my eye anyway. So I try to do that for you guys and give you the best quality that I can, and give you an idea of what you're going to be getting. So I was initially debating if I was just going to get this and then sell it, you know, because I was really doubting the what's a good word, the quality of it, I guess, or the likeness in the beginning. So, but it is good, and I'm generally happy with it. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Usually I do like a 360 of the figure, you know, so on and so forth, and I'm still going to do that for you guys, but I got something to assist me with that, and it's going to be a lot easier, and it'll help me cut down on some of the time it takes to put these videos together sometimes. So we'll go from there, and so let's get to the 360 of the figure, and we'll show you some alternate outfits and some poses, and we'll be done. Alright, so here we go, and as I said, I was going to have something to help me with a little bit of assistance of rotating this around, and I think in the end you guys will probably be happy with it too, because you'll get a real-time spin of the figure as we're actually talking. So anyway, as it moves around, you're getting a little bit of the detail on the outfit. Now this scarf slash hoodie is, I'm not sure if maybe I put it on wrong or what, but it's a little bit difficult, a little tight trying to pull it up onto the head. So just be careful when you're putting it on. You know, I hate to see people rip it. So right about there is where I was kind of comfortable. I was trying to see if the head sculpt was maybe pinching it or something. Maybe that was keeping it from going over the head a little easier. But that's about as far as I kind of want to take it. You can pull it probably a little bit more forward if you want to, but you know, I would use some caution in doing that, definitely. So you know, just be cognizant of that. And overall, though, it fits pretty good, though, for the most part. All right, and as she's spinning, you know, we'll go down on the figure as well. Once again, you know, Hot Toy is no stranger to tailoring. Very good. Very good tailoring. They paid attention to some very, very minute details. And in my opinion, they did a good job of trying to achieve it. Pants fit very well on her. And that's not some hidden sexism there. I'm just, they fit well. Oftentimes we'll have figures where the pants are a little bit baggy for articulation, and these are maybe a tad, but they form fit enough on her that you still have some decent articulation on it. I mean, you're not going to be, there's no need to really do splits with this figure, so you basically, you're able to get what you need done with it, in my opinion. I was surprised that there's actually quite a few people, just like with the new Star Wars with Episode 7, they didn't like Rogue One. I thought it was kick-ass, you know, for the most part. I mean, when I went into it, I basically knew that this was going to be a suicide mission. Maybe some folks were expecting something else. You know, I definitely knew what the outcome was going to be, unfortunately. And some folks might not have realized that, I guess, or felt they got duped or something and whatnot, but it was pretty kick-ass, and the ending with Vader was definitely rocking, man. That it's like almost brought tears to my eyes when he came out and started whooping ass and just force choking people and throwing them around and pulling out the saber, and it was just it was awesome. I don't have many complaints. The only thing, I think they underutilized Cheru, though. I think they could have used Elias' character a little bit more, but for what they did anyway, it's good. I mean, he had some pretty awesome scenes in the film, and most people would probably agree, would probably say, well, he wasn't in it enough, but for me, I'll never get enough of Donnie Yen. So, alright, so that's the 360, and I'll give you some alternate looks now, and also with the rotation, so you'll get to see that as well. So this is with the scarf hoodie down. So I know some people would like to see it with just with it up and down. So I'll give you that real quick. Now, in doing this pose, I might want to readjust what I said about the articulation. It is a little tight. You know, I mean, she's a woman. The pants were pretty tight on her in the film. So, the articulation with the knees, it's a little, you get a little resistance when moving it around. But it's still not bad, though. Again, you're not going to be doing splits with this character, so you know, we don't think we got to worry about too many people complaining about the articulation on this. At least I don't think so anyway. And if I'm spending too long on some of these poses, feel free to just fast forward to the next one. You know, and I know it's not every pose is for everyone, and not every video review style is for everyone. So do what you got to do. Just fast forward. No one's forcing you to watch this shit. I'm just trying to give people as much as I can in the time that I have. So just enjoy it while you can. All right, let's get to another look. This is no scarf at all. You know, some of the angles, man, from her head, from the sculpt, really get the likeness of her character, man. You know, as you watch that go around, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'll let you soak that in a little bit. You know, definitely not every angle, but I would say you get more angles of her looking like Jyn than you do with the Wonder Woman that's currently out by Hot Toys, unfortunately. I think it might be like the straight-on shot of her head sculpt where you kind of lose the likeness of Felicity, but from the side you definitely see it, I think, the most. Well, not the most, I'm full of shit saying that. But from the front, like dead on, I think that's where you kind of lose it. But then when you shift just to the left or the right a little bit, I think you really pick it up even more. So for me, it was something to do with the nose that was kind of throwing it off for me. And even now, I still think it is. But as you can see, I'm watching her head go around. It, you know, the likeness definitely comes through on many of the angles. So again, it's still a very good head sculpt. I've seen a lot worse. And one shot of the body. Alright, we'll move to another look. This is the money shot as far as I'm concerned. I'm definitely planning on keeping, probably posing her like this. And the poncho is wired, which is a nice little touch. So you can get some wind action kind of posing with it. It's even weathered too a little bit. A little bit of grungy, dirty detail added to it. This gun is relatively easy to put together. I believe this was part of the exclusive, I think, or something like that. I can't remember what was part of the deluxe and what wasn't now, to tell you the truth. But yeah, this is probably definitely the way I'm going to have her posed. I guess just some words of wisdom. The poncho itself, actually not really, it's not really a comment about the poncho, but the head sculpt, when you, the breather mask, it, actually, well, I guess it is kind of related to the poncho. The poncho itself, like in the prototype pics, sits a lot lower on her neck. And on this, I don't know if they shortened the neck or if it was some other issue, but as you can see, her neck doesn't show as much as it did. Her neck doesn't show as much as it did in the prototype. So just be cautious of where the mask sits, because it comes a little close to her chin depending on the pose. And of course you don't want to damage the paint application or have any paint rub or any kind of nonsense like that. So, you know, just be careful. But the accessories, man, are pretty kick-ass. I like that they included this poncho so you could get this look. You know, it's definitely a good figure, man. And it retails for, I think the MSRP is like $250 for getting it from Sideshow. And as far as the value, man, as you know, everything you get, it's a pretty good deal. So know some people still complain that it's not a good deal, but I think it's a good deal. So even though I don't think the head sculpt is 100% on, I still very happy. I think it's still worth the money. And the head sculpt looks like Felicity at enough angles that we're good. So all right, and I'll pop the hood up for you too as well. I'll show you what it looks like with the hood up. And instead of editing that out, I might as well just do it now for you. It's not like it's that hard, right? It doesn't sit on her head the way you want it. Plus I have her head tilted a little bit to the turn a little bit to the left, so but you get the idea, folks. So so that's with the Poncho hood up. All right, and okay, we'll do another shot with the helmet, and then I'll show you the accessories, or the rest of the accessories rather. Alright, and here's the look with the helmet on, which honestly this was one of the pics that I saw that actually turned me off from the head sculpt. There was a shot taken by one of the Hot Toys bloggers, man. Oh my god, it made her nose look so thin. I was like, oh my god, I'm like, is that supposed to be Felicity Jones? Oh my god, that like skewed the likeness for me, and I almost didn't bother looking at any other photos. And I don't know if it was like a shot that was like from underneath a little bit lower, coming up from underneath the nose, and it just, oh my god, it didn't look good, man. And you know, with the helmet on now, from shots like above straight on, the likeness is still there, but when you go from underneath and take shots, I don't know, I haven't taken any photos of this thing yet, but I'm going to do some comparisons and see what it was, if it was a combination of lighting or if it was just that shot of coming underneath, or a combination of both, you know, who knows. But I definitely want to see what kind of caused it to look like that. But the likeness is still there, though, with the helmet on. I know some people will agree, some people won't agree. You know, again, I'm already telling you that I don't think the head sculpt is 100% spot on, but still happy with it. So, all right, well, that's the helmet on, and I guess we'll do the accessory. I'll show you the rest of the accessories now, and I hope from what I've already showed you that you've gotten an idea of what you can do with this figure as far as posing and stuff. I haven't gotten into too much dynamic shit with her, but you know, the possibilities are really limitless, because it really does come with a lot of stuff. So you can bang out quite a bit. And as usual, you know, stay tuned to my Instagram, because I will be posting some shots of her up there. So generally what you kind of don't get in here, as far as maybe some posing, some more posing or whatnot, you'll get in my Instagram photos usually over the next 4 or 5 days or so. So just check me out on Instagram too. I am Toys, same handle, and you will get some more of what I may have not covered or done. So, all right, let's do the accessories real quick. All right, I lied. I figured I'll show you one more pose. I put her in a running pose, get a little bit more dynamic for you. Now, you know, for the record, I usually don't, you know, pose around with the figure first before I do the reviews. You know, once you're kind of getting these in real time, the poses as I'm doing the video, basically. So I thought initially that the articulation on the thigh itself and into the hip, you could raise the leg up. I thought there was a little bit more give, but honestly there isn't. So the articulation is kind of limited up there. I thought it was a little better than that, but trying to raise that leg, at least at the groin, where it meets the groin, trying to get it past, you know, bring it up to 90 degrees is going to be really tough. So I don't know how many people are really going to want to do that. Again, this is not a kind of figure you're going to be getting into too many crazy poses with, but you never know. Some people get really creative and want to do certain things, so, you know, just be careful about bringing the thigh or the knee up anyway, because you could possibly tear the fabric. So just be cautious of that, and you know, that's about it, I guess. Anyway, so let me show you the rest of the accessories, and then we'll close out with some final words. Alright, and here you go. Here are the accessories, and all in rotation love for you. I'm going to coin that a new term. We'll term it a 360-degree rotation love for accessories. Yeah, no. Anyway, but yeah, here are all the accessories. The stuff that is exclusive to the deluxe version. Let me see if I can get all this right. The poncho, I believe, is exclusive to the deluxe version, which I already showed you on the figure itself. The bandolier, the 5 cartridges, that is also exclusive to the deluxe. The aviator hat with the goggles, again, also exclusive to the deluxe. You also get the blaster parts that are combinable to make turn the blaster pistol essentially into a blaster rifle. That's also exclusive to the deluxe. The quadnoculars, which is a souped up version of binoculars, basically. You get the 4-range sight instead of the typical 2. And as we're seeing that pass right there, that's that. The little small component that you're seeing that's laying right next to it, that's part of the original small blaster. You pop that off and then you put the other components together. Anybody that's looking for someone to do that, I'm sure Dean Knight's going to be picking up this figure as well and doing a review. So anybody wants to see it, I'm sure he'll probably put it together for you. It's not rocket science, folks. You'll be able to figure it out, trust me. And the breathing mask obviously is also exclusive to Deluxe as well, and I think that's pretty much it. That's as far as Deluxe. When this spins back around again, on the black blaster rifle, you will see she's got a little necklace that is hanging from it. That also comes with it. And you know, it's weird, but on Sideshow's website, they didn't have it listed as an accessory, which is bizarre. You would think that they would have it, or I don't know, maybe they forgot, or maybe this was something that they threw in at the last minute, I don't know. So, but you get a little necklace too. And what else do you get? Obviously you get the drive too that has the Death Star plans. I believe that's what that is. And obviously some open and closed gripped hands. So that's really about it. And I'll go back to the figure and give you one last look and then close out. Alright, so one final look at her. Like I mentioned, this is probably how I'm going to have her posed for the most part. I don't know about keeping her in the dynamic pose, but you know, when you're displaying these figures in detolfs, and I try to keep it like 3 figures per shelf, as you can see behind her. I usually don't try to go over that. So when you have figures in dynamic poses, you kind of sacrifice some space. So even though I don't like museum poses all the time, sometimes you're kind of forced into it if you're space limited. So overall, my opinion, I'm very happy with the figure. The accessories, for what you get as far as the exclusives, you know, this might as well be a DX. The only other thing that you could get is some kind of alternate head sculpt, but really I don't know what they would give you as far as expression. There's one thing that you can do. I don't know. I guess some tips when you're taking off the hair. In the prototype, the hair by her cheeks that's hanging is spaced out farther. Obviously, the production piece, it's more, you know, sideline to her cheeks. So when you're taking off the hair portion of the sculpt, which pops right off, just like various other renditions that Hot Toys has done as far as, you know, the detachable hair, just be careful, because those ends of her hair are sharp, and actually sharper than I would think. They're kind of rough, so, you know, just be cognizant of when you're taking it off, it is rubbing against the cheeks of the sculpt. So I took it off a couple times already. I didn't scratch it or anything. It's just a you know, precaution. Just be careful. I actually took off the hair and bent the side, or I don't know what the hell to call it, like the portion of her hair by her cheeks. I spread out a little bit. I bent it backwards or apart out to the sides, so they would sit maybe just a little bit farther away from her cheek than they do now. I don't know if that's coming through on the sculpt right now, but that's what I did. I think it makes the figure look a little bit better without the hair sitting so tight up against her face. So again, you know, those side portions of her hair, you can bend them out to the side a little bit so they're not as flush to the cheeks. Other concerns, I think I mentioned already, the breather mask. Just be careful as far as positioning of the head. You don't want it tension on the actual face sculpt coming from the mask, because again, you could damage it that way. I guess that's really about it as far as any concerns. You know, articulation, like I mentioned, is limited in the hip area and also at the waist area too, I'm starting to realize. You know, if I come up with anything else, you know, I'll either mention it on Facebook, you know, or maybe throw together another video if it's really that significant, which I doubt anything's going to come up that crazy. But again, you know, even though the likeness is off for me just a little bit, it's still a very, very good purchase in my opinion. And I love Rogue One. I love Jyn Erso's character, so I know this is a must-have for a lot of collectors. And it does look like her for the most part. So, you know, it's not like they put out a figure and it looks like, you know, Reese Witherspoon or something. You know what I mean? Even though a couple folks in some of the Facebook groups have been posting some funny comparison pics, which have me cracking up. But anyway, as usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them on the video, and I'll try to get back to you when I can. Again, stay tuned to my Instagram. I'll have some shots of her up as well at some point. And you know, again, for the price, $250, man, for what you get for the exclusives, I think it's a pretty good bargain. You know, and if you're one of those people that think the head sculpt is a 9.5 or a perfect 10, hey, then you're even better off than I am, and they're going to love this figure even more. So either way, I'm very happy too, though. You know, could there be a couple tweaks? You know, hey, but again, there's no such thing as perfection in this hobby, man. Hot Toys and other companies have come pretty close, but if perfection is something you're looking for, you know, this is definitely not the hobby for you. You might want to find something else to get into. Maybe collect stamps or coins. Maybe a bug collection. All right, man. So I think I've talked long enough. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Deuces, folks.